Thank you very much for including me. Thanks for that introduction, Sev. You can just go on and take my 12 minutes. It's fine. Um, Great to be here this morning. Thank you very much. Over the years, I obviously had to take calls from people whenever they said, they announced to Madiba they would be 5 minutes late, and then he always made me ask them, how long is your 5 minutes? So let's see how long my 12 minutes is. I always issue a disclaimer before I speak in public forums like that. Like this, I say to people, I read the other day, very interestingly, that if you're not good at a particular language, it actually means you know another language quite well. So I want to assure you, while you listen to me, I do know another language quite well. So apologies for my English. When we think about ethics, or when I try and explain ethics to myself, I try to bring meaning to it. I think of the ethical code of conduct that governs medical practitioners. Now, obviously, preparing for today, I thought about this a lot. What is it? Is it a set of behaviors that govern people? What exactly is it? And I think of medical practitioners not, for instance, being allowed or supposed to drive past an accident scene. A medical practitioner is supposed to stop and to attend to any injured people, possibly injured people. That's ethics. That's how ethics is explained to me. I think, what do we then do in society? What feeds into ethical behavior? What is acceptable to society? What may be acceptable to me may not be acceptable to any other person. So how do we define it? Now, my story is a simple one, and I try and explain to people what I've learned from Madiba over 19 years, and I try and implement that in my life. But first, I want to talk about something completely irrelevant, and that's fashion. So someone wears a stupid hat, and we think, what an idiot. You look like an idiot. No one's going to wear that hat. Until two people wear the same hat. Until 5 people wear the same hat. And that becomes fashionable then. So what have we done in society? We have made almost unethical behavior fashionable because we accepted it. And I'll take you through a few stories to explain to you how I got to that. But it's our own behavior that feeds into what is ethical and unethical in society. I always say to people, we've almost managed to institutionalize corruption in South Africa now. I think we're almost there. A few more months and we'll be there. But it's really it talks about our behavior and what we accept. We can't leave this all to the media, to Tuli, and to the politicians who we know are consistently irresponsible when it comes to ethical behavior. But we can't leave it to them to govern. We have to feed, we have to inform what is ethically acceptable in our society. Now, I want to tell you 2 stories. When Madiba got elderly, he would sometimes wake up in the morning, call me at the office and say, I want to go and buy a pen. Why are we buying a pen? We bought a pen a week ago. What happened to his pen? I'm sure there's someone at the house that can give him a pen. So I would say, can't I go and buy you a pen? And he would say, no, you'll buy the wrong pen. And it was a normal yellow big pen, a rollerball big pen. So he would say, no, you'll buy the wrong pen. I insist on going to the shop. We would end up in Sandton City or one of these big malls. And in buying the pen, obviously you can understand, being the shop owner or shop manager, you want to give Nelson Mandela everything. You want to give him the books for free, give him the pen for free. But what determined or what distinguished this gentleman from the rest of the world to me was he insisted on paying for that big pen. He insisted on paying for the books. And he would threaten people and say to them, I would not return to your store unless you allow me to pay for these goods. And that speaks of the character of the man, what was ethical to him. We visited Kuwait in the mid-2000s. And what happens when you visit a foreign country and you are being hosted by a head of government, in this case, the Emir of Kuwait. And if you're Nelson Mandela, when you get to your bathroom, you don't only get the shower cap and the conditioner and the shampoo and the bar of soap. You get the entire range of goods. So in Kuwait, we arrived in his bathroom and there was Bulgari everywhere, the entire range, aftershave, the shaving cream, the razor, everything was just Bulgari. It was green. Little did I know that Madiba went to the bathroom before we left for our meeting with the Emir, and he noticed each and every item in the bathroom. Very strange. We went to the emir, leaving security behind to guard our belongings and our rooms, and to guard it. And upon our return, he went to the bathroom again. Now, over the years, he started calling me Zaldina, but when he called me Zelda, I knew there was something up. So the phone rings, Zelda, come here. And there was nothing kind about him when he was angry, let me tell you. And I went to his room, and he was very, very upset. He was visibly upset. And I said, what's wrong, Kulu? He said, call Jackie Celebi. Of course, Jackie was still the commissioner of police those days. I said, why do you need Jackie? He said, I want all of these people fired. And I thought, what's happening? I said, what happened, Kulu? Is there something I can help you? Get Jackie. I want these people fired. And I knew I can't call Jackie in the middle of the night from Kuwait. What is happening? I need to prepare him. I went around the corner. I returned. And I lied. I said to Madiba, unfortunately, I can't get hold of Jackie. He's in a meeting. He was probably busy with Interpol or something. But I said to Madiba, sorry, I can't get hold of Jackie. What is wrong? He said, one of these guards, stole a bar of soap from my bathroom. I said, how do you know that? He said, I counted these items. And when we returned from the meeting with the emir, one of the items was stolen. And the only people we left here was the security. So what do we do now? I just thought, if he's going to have all these people fired now, how do I get this man home? So I said, Kulu, how do you want to deal with this? He says, call them all. Call them all. And he made them stand parade in his room. He said to them, I will have all of you fired the minute I get hold of Jackie. And one of you is not to be trusted. And I cannot work with people who cannot be trusted. It may just be a bar of soap, but one of you has got a flaw. You are a thief. And of course, people were very embarrassed, and we're all standing there, and Madiba was really behaving like a prosecutor. Gary Nelken could have learned from him. He was behaving like a prosecutor, and these people were all nervous. And he said, unless if that person returns that item tonight, tomorrow I will forget about everything, I will forgive you. But then you have to replace it tonight. Of course, what happened? The person replaced it that night. The next morning we woke up, and Madiba did what he promised. Forgive and forget. The strange thing I noticed is that wherever we traveled over the world, he then left the next morning without touching any of those items. And I'm a self-confessed shower cap thief, but he didn't touch any items, he didn't use any items, he didn't take any items, he just left it. And that is what tells me what his ethical values, what was his values, how he respected other people's property. Yes, it may have been a gift from the host, but there was no need for him to use it. For him, it was an emergency. But that's the ethics of the man, and that's what the things that I learned from him. So you can imagine people ask me, what would Madiba have said about corruption? What would he say? And I say, I can't tell you, and I can't put words in his mouth, but I can tell you how he disliked dishonesty, how intolerant he was of dishonesty, and how he felt about the stolen bar of soap. And that's really my message. Now, when we go back to fashion, what is fashionable? We ourselves, there's very few of you in this room that sit around the braai or at home around dinner, and everyone has got a story about bribing a cop, right? Or you know someone that bribed a cop, or you know someone that downloads music from the internet illegally. TV series, we all know what's the latest TV series in America. We've all watched it because we download it illegally. That makes corruption and unethical behavior acceptable, fashionable. So we ourselves, to change this, what we're seeing, this occurrence of corruption, we have to change our own behaviors. Yes, it's tax money, and we can bring people to book and insist that people be brought to book about misusing taxpayers' money. But we ourselves have to make it unfashionable to be corrupt or to be unethical. We have to be incorruptible ourselves, and only then will we be able to change society. I read a beautiful article the other day by Songezo Zibi from the Business Day, and he said we need morality above populism. And one of the things I most often heard Madiba say over the years is, it's easier to change others than it is to change yourself. And that's really what I want to close with. We worry about everyone else, but what are we changing about ourselves to change the behavior and to change this fashion of unethical behavior? Thank you for listening to me. Thank you.